Guten Tag! So I've had a lot of requests to feature more vintage Korg synthesizers, and if I can get my hands on them, of course I will. And oh, would you look at that? Here's one now, a very rare one in fact. This is the Korg Sigma from 1979. Now this came out as part of a trio of instruments that all took their names from letters of the Greek alphabet, the other two being the lambda and the delta. Now I'm told they only made about 1,000 of these, and they each have a little plaque with their serial number. This is number 85. It's got rocker switches like an organ. It's got this little pull-out bit for your sheet music on the back here, and it's got two freaking joysticks. What an absolute goofball. I love it. Let's listen to a couple of sounds. Okay, let's talk about the right-hand side of the synth. There's two tone sections, one called Synth, which is a set of preset waves at different footings, and Instrument, which is also a set of preset waves at different footings that are chosen for and named after their vague sonic relationship to various acoustic and electric instruments. There is also a ring modulator in the synth section, which some say is actually cross-modulation, so if you're a tech who's had their head in one of these, please let me know. You can combine each and every tone, and so the mathematicians among us can tell us the number of possible combinations. It's a surprisingly huge number. Above each tone is one select parameter that is specific to that tone, much like Korg's X911, which I tried out a while back. The articulation of each tone is discrete because there are multiple filters, amps and envelopes going on inside. It's just that all the tones are fired off together when you press a key. You can mix between the two tone sections, and they have individual outs for true stereo sounds. Okay, let's talk about the left-hand side of the synth. Firstly, there's another set of rocker switches labelled effects, which are not effects as we think of them now, but are in fact performance controls. There's the obvious stuff you'd expect: octave selection, portamento, vibrato, trigger modes and hold, but let's focus on the less obvious stuff. Firstly, there's what Korg call an optically encoded pressure-sensitive keyboard, whatever that means. Like the ARP Soloist, Pro Soloist, Roland SH-2000 and a few others that came before the Sigma, this allows you to introduce modulation with pressure, although it's only pitch bend and vibrato on the Sigma. Next is the left joystick, which you can activate for either tone section. There's pitch bend with discrete range per tone section, vibrato and noise modulation available on the axis, and you can navigate through them. The second joystick is a filter offset for the 8 filters in the Synth section, high pass in one direction, low pass in the other. These are Type 35 filters like the sister MS-20 Mk I. The last peculiarity is a mode that allows for quarter tones to be played, a strange choice given the things that are omitted from this synth. This takes effect if you hold down one key and play keys above it. I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to work, as the manual doesn't actually say, but it's pretty nifty for brass trills. So, who played the Sigma? Well, Rick Wakeman definitely played one, as did Jean-Michel Jarre, Keith Emerson and Vangelis. So basically all performers who could utilise the performance features of the Sigma. But it wasn't a widely used instrument, and it didn't have a resurgence through use in later electronic music, so basically it had a brief appearance before disappearing into obscurity. The reason is probably context. Polysynths with memory, samplers and digital synths started arriving in the late 70s and early 80s, and so the Sigma quickly became irrelevant. Plus, it's very ugly, which probably didn't help. But hey, looks can be deceiving. Okay, I'm going to end with a contextual demonstration. Thank you to the owner of this synth, and thank you for watching.